I was asked too recently, like, how long do you think you'll be on this? Like, some anxiety is good. And I was like, I think the 37 years I gave to anxiety was like, my debt's paid now. I'm done.
This is Advice from Strangers, the podcast where we ask people we've never met to solve our most intimate problems. I'm your host, Bridget Kimbrough. Let's do this. Welcome back. This week, I'm thrilled to introduce you to a longtime friend. When we first met, Alyx was a scrappy 20-something navigating love and career on the bustling Isle of Manhattan. I've seen her make some big decisions with grace, so who better to join us for this experiment? Everybody, this week's co-host, Alyx K. Hi!
Hey.
Oh my God, you are making my day. I was just thinking like I need to bring in hats or something fun for when I come into this, and you did it for me. I love it.
I'm channeling my inner Parvati from the Traders, where she always had headbands.
I don't know any of the words you just said.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, you need to watch the Traders, and we've talked about this because Alan Cumming hosts it on PC.
Oh my God. The Traders. Okay. I was thinking you were saying trade with a D. So here's what happened. I have been taking a lot of naps. Okay. 2024 has involved a lot of naps for an array of reasons. I'm going to nap myself into the poorhouse, but the day that I was like, it's Trader Day and I'm just going to lay on this couch and watch like back-to-back episodes was the day after my birthday party. And so I really just took a giant nap. I knew the nap would come, but it came like immediately. And then I never went back. And that was probably my one free month of Paramount, maybe. Who is
it's
what's it on?
It's on Peacock.
Okay. That's the same thing to me. They're going to have to do something about that. That's some bad branding.
There can't be two P's.
There can't be two P's. Come on.
Because there's also Pluto.
See, now that though, I know because it's free and we got our free stuff. That is off topic. But I keep so strongly encouraging people to go back and watch, what was it? The Bridgerton thing with that girl that we like almost didn't make it to your baby shower because I couldn't stop watching episodes of that show.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And I have an aside for you on that. Oh my gosh. What was it called? Because it was on NBC.
It's
and
something with a C.
Bridgerton-esque dating show.
It's something. The Courtship. Oh, the Courtship. And I mean, look, I love every penny that they spent, but of course it ensured that they were never going to make another season because I can't imagine that anyone that started watching it stopped, right? The viewership had to only go up because they delivered on every promise made in that amazing trailer. Oh, that show. I don't even remember who she picked. I just remember her dating that guy, the pizza guy.
She
forever. And the true reveal that no matter what station in life, no matter your commercial or natural beauty, no matter your intellect, women make horrible decisions about men. Because she almost picked that guy. I'm like, you are in front. Like, I get it in the day-to-day, and you start to nag yourself and think maybe you deserve less, right? But they put her in a freaking mansion in France. She was basically at Versailles. With like her best friend, so her support and beautiful suitors, and she still was just like going for garbage. Sorry, dude, but no one was down for that. Mr. And I love that they call them all by their last names. So like Mr. Pinkerton or whoever he was.
He was like Mr. Is that Bukoko?
Yes, Mr. Bukoko or something like that. Yeah.
Daniel. And then he broke up with her 2 months later. It's like, no, he was but the signs were so obvious to us. Like,
Yeah.
He gave her so many ultimatums, and he was so jealous of like everything she was doing. All right, this is just a teaser for our side podcast.
I know. We've got to start doing it. I'm gonna need you, no offense, to have less babies so you can have more time. Okay? So you just work on that.
Shut breast.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I am a stay-at-home mom who works part-time, creative project managing, creative consulting, creative strategizing, helping companies with their clients and client communications and coming up with ideas for stuff. But honestly, I am looking to really this summer like break into and feel like in my creativity. So this is perfect. And I'm going to have a radio show this summer at my alma mater. Yeah. We're going to be playing the top bands from 2004 to 2014, like Warped Tour, Bamboozle, Skate and Surf, and seeing if I can get some interviews on for whoever's still together and currently on tour. And then like eventually have like a podcast empire, which will include you. So
I just want to produce podcast ideas.
Okay.
Well, like I have so many ideas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Ideas and people. Okay. So talking about what this pod is about, as advice goes, Alyx, how are you at receiving it?
Oh my gosh, it's been a work in progress. Like I literally, it stuck with me. I think first or second grade report card said that I needed to learn to accept criticism, and don't think I ever forgot that. I'm actually only in the last like 2 to 3 years starting to learn that how to better receive criticism and be more open to receiving it and understanding where it's coming from, maybe the intention behind it, and how I can look towards it as more of an opportunity than a personal attack on my identity.
Now, does advice feel like criticism?
Not if I'm asking for it.
Oh, okay.
Because a lot of times I'll be telling a story and someone will just like come with their advice, and I'm like, well, okay, I'm just in the talking portion of this. Questions come at the end. Let's solve it at the end. Let me get the whole story out, because you haven't heard the whole story. So yeah, I'm definitely one also that's a lot of times looking for feedback. I've always been that person that's trying to seek like kind of like an authority figure to like give me the right answers and lead me to like this safe path, which on a deeper level, I'm an Enneagram type 6, and this is like my whole profile of someone who's consistently anxious and nervous and foreseeing like problem solving and like foreseeing like potential risks. So I'm naturally inclined to like try and find experts to show me the way, like as a sort of safety thing. So yes, I am definitely a big seeker of advice, and especially from like, I think I've built a really trusted group of friends, and like you're one of them. Like I love just chatting with you about your thoughts on things, and like our little gossip of shows on life. So yeah, I definitely like look towards others for answers.
Okay, Jason's in the waiting room. So he wants to be surprised. Mm-hmm. So you're going to pick the topic.
Ooh,
okay. So, Alyx K, your topics are: how do I get better at flirting? Are aliens real? How do I change my frequency?
Okay.
How do I know when it's time to leave the party? And what happens when we die?
Okay. I'm definitely choosing how do we change our frequency, because this is something that I've been working on for the last like 4 to 5 years. So yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay. So you might be the expert. Mm-hmm. Let's just see. Okay. We're going to let Jason in. Hello, Jason.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How are you, sir?
Doing good. And looks like you have a guest with you, Bridget.
Jason, please meet Alyx. Alyx, please meet Jason.
Nice to meet you, Alyx.
Nice to meet you too.
So we've just chatted it up, and I gave Alyx a short list of options, and she has chosen for our topic today.
Oh.
How do I change my frequency?
How to change my frequency?
And Jason, you're welcome to, I made these topics up, so you can take that however you want to. If you feel like you need to ask me for clarity, you can do that too.
Yeah, a little bit of clarity. So is it the wavelength you're worried about, or your vibrational, like what's going on with, when you say you want to change your frequency, what do you mean by frequency? Because to me it means the inverse of wavelength.
Yes. So first disclosure, Jason is a scientist. So yeah, look what you did.
I chose right.
Yeah, look what you did. So I mean it. I'm just interchanging words, right? Mm-hmm. So I do mean like my personal vibration. And when I was thinking of it, I really meant like when you meet people and they just have a great energy. Like the way that I think of it is they have a frequency. How do I get my frequency, my vibration, what I'm putting out, and also what I'm getting back in? How do I kind of elevate that? That's kind of what I mean. Is that what you meant, Alyx?
Yeah, it's definitely about how do I like present a positive and an effective like vibration to others, where I make myself someone that they want to listen to, they care about, and they want to hear from, and someone who gets results.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting thing, and I think it's a good question. One of the things that occurs to me is that it all starts with your thinking, your mindset. If you don't mind me giving you some advice.
Yeah.
So actually Margaret Thatcher had had something to say about this. She always said that we become what we think. She said, mind your thoughts, that they become words, and watch your words, that they might become actions. Watch your actions, because they might become habits. And watch your habits, because they determine your character. And it is your character that determines your destiny. So we become what we think. Now, not everybody likes Margaret Thatcher, but certainly
that's a great quote.
But you just broke it down.
Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself into that mindset, I think, is very important. So thinking positively and thinking non-judgmentally and trying your best to think through these things. Obviously, we've all got those little gremlins that are telling us, shut up, you're a fake, and things like that in the back of our head. But if you can overwhelm that with positive thoughts, feelings of love, feelings of joy, feelings of, I want to get to know this person, I think that will go a long way. People pick up on that and want to engage you.
Yeah, I think one of the issues for me personally was experiencing a lot of almost like a Charlie Brown effect, where like all these things are going wrong constantly and you can't help but kind of start to believe that this is just your path. This is just who you are. These are how things happen to you, and trying to kind of it didn't even occur to me that you could just change your frequency, change things about you, but like also trying to figure out like, how do you get there when everything is so going wrong in your life?
Well, it's tough. I would say, as a self-employed person as well, it doesn't matter how I'm feeling. If I get up and I'm feeling down, as soon as I get to my desk, I've got to be, here's my smile, here's my game face, and off you go. And because I have to sell myself and my services.
Yeah.
And I think to that, I think there's two things. One is there is an element of like fake it till you make it. My mom said, like, when she was pregnant with me, the days that she had morning sickness and she felt really bad, she made sure to like take a shower, put on something nice, and put on a full face of makeup, right? There is that element of pulling yourself together and kind of creating yourself in the way that you want to kind of be, that helps you align, and it kind of tells your brain, oh, we're doing this now. And I do think mimicking happiness or mimicking just like an elevated state is good, and it helps you to come up, even if it's just in that situation. And I always want to say this to people is, when you're in those situations like the Charlie Brown effect, a friend of mine said this to me when I was in that cycle, and now it's a total belief that things are cyclical. And she said to me, you're in a season of chaos right now, but it is not permanent. It is absolutely temporary, and you are going to cycle right back out of it. This isn't your story. This is just where you are in this moment. And Jason, you very much have a pronounced frequency. I know I see you socially, but you totally have a fun, vibrant, like, thing coming off you. Is that the same on Tuesday?
Yeah, thank you. I like to think that it is. I don't feel like I put any. I'm lucky because I'm fairly extroverted, and so interacting with people gives me energy. Like right now, I'm getting energy because I'm interacting with you guys. And you see, like, Alyx, you smiled. You know what was? Oh, there's a thunderstorm going on here, but what was interesting was a couple of things that that came up about smiling. Back in the 80s, I'm remembering a study. This is, oh gosh, I was only a child when this happened, but I remember it. And basically, it was a Russian study on the physiology and the brain chemistry of when somebody smiles, you know, all of those muscles actually subtly change the blood flow to the brain and basically change make changes biochemically in the brain that increase mood.
Yeah.
And what's interesting was then more recently on and GPB or NPR has that Infinite Mind podcast. Is that it, or Infinite Brain? I can't remember if it's Infinite Brain, Infinite Mind, or whatever it is. But they had one on there about it is all of a sudden raining cats and dogs outside. But yeah, I know you can hear it.
I can hear it. I can hear it. It's cool.
But it was talking about how the brain is really just a predictor, and it actually changes your mood based on the anticipation of how much energy it's got to expend. So it's kind of, so what it's doing is it's like, oh, wait a minute. So everything's going great, and, you know, and it's predictable, and it's trying to figure out, okay, like, is there a stressful situation coming up? Because if there is, I better save some energy. And basically it changes your mood, changes your mode, so that, and, you know, and I'm going to use the word frequency, you know, because it knows it may have to reserve some energy for running away or for fighting or something else. And what was interesting was it talked that, you know, they really I wish I'd have to look and find my notes on it, because I sat there and made notes like a geek because I thought it was so interesting. But it was saying that that really it's a prediction. So your frequency almost is a prediction of how your brain thinks will be the most efficient use of your energy in that situation. And extrapolating that out, they even talked about depression, and that a depressed mind is a bankrupt mind. It's like bankrupt in energy. And so it's not going to expend the energy to learn a new thing or to look at something that is going to, bring joy. It was a very interesting way of like turning the whole thing upside down.
That's extremely interesting because you're talking about things that are like the fight or flight mode and then the burnout mode.
Yeah.
I think that it only takes a few things to happen for us to automatically live in fight or flight. And then that become everything that we're doing is the fight or flight mode. And then that burns us out so that we can't expend the energy to find a better solution. 100%. I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it was, to me, it really changed my business. So let me ask you a question, because, there was a couple of other points that came up that I heard, that a series of bad events had. Was that something that's happened to you, Alyx, recently? Or?
Yes. So I kind of, almost my whole life, I lived in a very like anxious fight or flight state. And then I sought life and career coaching. And what ended up happening was we did a lot of work with inner child work, which is talking to the child that inside you that felt abandonment, things from family members, experience, advisors, anything in your life, and kind of nurturing them and kind of bringing them to a safe place, because a lot of times this lashing out and the things that you're feeling can come from a place of your inner child or like past experiences getting brought up in these boundaries that you've had crossed so many times. You kind of end up breaking out of that. And then like so I spent a lot of time, and once you start to do that, you realize how many other people didn't do that work, and they end up attracting relationships, whether it's work or friendships or love, that is a different version of a toxic relationship they experienced probably as a kid. Yeah. So it definitely has helped a lot. And it's also helped to learn that like nothing is really permanent. You can kind of, aside from like, there are some things that are very permanent, like you have a kid, you can't like undo the kid, but like other things like, oh, hey, I lost my job. Okay, but there are other opportunities, which I would have never thought before. I had such an identity around work that like I felt a personal failure if I were to lose a job. And like that was so like fight or flight for me. Like I have to do the best job as possible because I can't ever lose my job. But knowing that these are opportunities that come that you need them at a certain time in your life, to get to the next thing, and knowing sometimes that the next opportunity isn't ready yet for you, like understanding that things come in the right time, what's meant for you can't miss you, has helped me kind of approach frequency different and kind of see a bit of a silver lining a little bit more than I would have before. But it's hard. Sometimes you still get in that mode of like, cool, these 5 terrible things happened this week. Like, is this just my life now?
So it's interesting so it sounds to me like you're going through, you're really doing some work here, and you're not just looking at these things that are happening to you. Sounds like you've had some big changes in your life in terms of the, career change, or the getting laid off. That's traumatic. That's traumatic. I don't care who you are. And then you've also been kind of going through and doing a little bit of work based on prior things. So it does make sense that your perspective is right now in flux. You're recalibrating an awful lot of things at the same time. It's, if you ask me. And what's interesting is you mentioned, the anxiety work and the inner child that the inner child work as well. There's a lot going on, Alyx. So it makes sense to me that you're feeling a little bit, like with a wash, like a ship without a rudder.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like you have this, you have like, you get in this state where you have like a toxic job and they lay everyone off. And then you kind of have this fear around finding other jobs because all you keep seeing is that job and other job descriptions. Like, what if I just like a bad relationship. Okay, I just dated this, hypothetically, I dated this bad person. Now every person is that version. How do I know? How do I trust that? Now I don't trust anything. And then you get that frequency of like negative attraction.
So let me ask you another question, if you don't mind, and that is, so we started this off with, how do I change my frequency?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm going to now, okay, so is that really going to solve your problem? Like, what is it? What's the problem we're trying to solve here? And then let's talk about the scope of the solution. What's the real problem?
So, just like a little backstory on me is that I am working now. I have a wonderful family, a son. More recently, I've been trying to be my own boss and find good clients. I had 2 really great clients, and then I got a third that was just too much for me. It wasn't the right fit. I believed in everything they did, but it just demanded way too much of me. And now I'm worried that I'm going to keep attracting these kind of, like, how do I attract another like great client? How do I attract opportunities in my life, not just for as clients, but like, how do I attract opportunity for my creativity? Like, how do I and not come off as like a negative person or someone who's trying too hard, like too much of that really desperate energy, even though I want something to happen.
Alyx, I mean, sometimes you have to have that period of time where you're, taking stock and deciding what to hang on to and what to discard. I'm very lucky that I've had quite a bit of therapy in my life over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you go and see a professional, if you can, because I'm not a therapist.
Right. No, I agree. And I do see one. And it also helped actually going on anti-anxiety medication. I honestly didn't know, because there's a certain point where you're like, all right, I'm going to therapy, right? I'm moving my body. I'm still not feeling X, Y, and Z. Like the smallest thing is making me not okay. A lot of it came from postpartum with my son. And in doing trial and error with medication, finally getting on the right one, I was like, oh, is this how people react to problems and trauma? I can acknowledge it and then like go about my day, and not, instead of like internally crumbling and feeling like such a physical reaction, like, oh my gosh, I feel like all my nerve endings are on fire.
Right.
That's what it was feeling like. And in taking this medication, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can say, oh, okay, so the baby like had a blowout. Okay.
It just gave you a bit of distance.
Yeah. Yes. It really was like a zoom out of like, oh, okay, this is happening. Not great. But I'm still going to be able to move forward, move my body. Like I'm not frozen. And I think that's like helped also kind of change the frequency. And then one of the things too is almost like on the opposite end is like taking rest and like actually not feeling this guilt that you're being unproductive and like literally just doing nothing and sitting with your thoughts and kind of just, all right, I don't have every free second of my time doesn't have to be like doing the laundry, cleaning, reading this book, like texting this person. I can just do nothing and kind of get back in myself.
That makes a lot of sense, because sometimes I do think that we busy ourselves so that we don't have to sit with our own thoughts.
Yeah. That's literally one of the main things I have not been able to work on is the sitting with your thoughts and sitting in the uncomfort of it. And I don't realize how bad it is till I actually like go to sleep, try to go to sleep and put my head on the pillow. And I was like, oh no, I've been avoiding this all day.
Yeah, I can understand. It's it's something that I find is difficult too, and I've had to learn how to do it. And almost like you said, I think Bridget was saying, almost get into a meditative state, and acknowledge those thoughts. I mean, you're not going to stop them, but you
Right.
can look at them and say, well, if it's bad, was it really that bad? Or it's over now? Or, yep, thanks for the reminder, whoever that is throwing these bad memories at me.
Yeah. And like deciding like what's a right now problem, what's tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right.
What's in my control.
Let's worry about something now, not something at high school. Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. Like everyone's asleep.
Postpartum depression's a huge. I mean, that's a big thing. That's something that should not be taken at all lightly.
I think that there's so much fear around what does it mean if I get help for this, or if I like say this out loud and call somebody and say I need help for it, like, are they going to take my child away? Am I a bad mom? Like, what is happening? When really it's, hi, you're not alone. Come talk about your feelings here. You can talk with a therapist. You can talk with this mom group. You can talk with a nurse practitioner, see if medication is the right route for you. And actually, like lack of sleep is a huge factor in postpartum. Someone once told it increases it almost by like 70%, like your chances of getting it by your lack of sleep. Yeah, it's really, you're just like not. And so sometimes I would have like a good night's, like not a good night's sleep, but I would have like 3 consecutive hours, and I'm like, I'm healed. You know how like it's like when it finally gets warm and you go outside and it's like 70 degrees and you're like, wow, maybe I don't have depression, it's just warm, it's just sad. But it's like that boost of like serotonin that you're able to get, and then you like it changes your mind. But the postpartum stuff is, and I think finally like people are being more open about it, especially like on reality shows, which is great, because then it's like, there's so much there's like a lot of stigma around like all of us getting help for it, having it. But
for sure.
But you become a better parent, a better friend, family member, employee, coworker by getting the help that you need, because you are healing your wounds, and you're not putting those on other people who have to like experience it with you and are affected by however way you react because of it. And again, back to frequency,
Well, it's back to frequency, but also to your point, well, we now understand a little bit more about the physiology of depression and sadness and anxiety and those things. And frankly, we don't have to live with it anymore. We can take a pill, and as long as we're doing the work needed, in terms of if there's some underlying cause which is going to be recurrent, then we can save ourselves the misery of going through it, as well as the ramifications on sleep, cardiac health, physical activity, like all of these other things. And the fact that we're such a B word to the people around us, they don't need that extra stress,
Yeah.
So it's good. I'm thankful for that technology in my life.
I was asked too recently, like, how long do you think you'll be on this? Like, some anxiety is good. And I was like, I think that at the time when I was asked, I think like the 37 years I gave to anxiety was like, my debt's paid now. I'm done.
Well, and that's the thing is, one of the things I've realized is that people have this whole range of emotions every day, healthy people. And, and so what's happening if you're suffering from anxiety is, let's say, here's the line, here's the baseline, and above here you're like really ecstatically happy, and below here you're stressed and depressed. And and during the day things will happen. Somebody cuts you up in traffic, and you get upset momentarily, or somebody says something nice. Oh, low data mode. Okay, but anyway, and so this chart is, it's an up and down thing, and people that suffer from depression, well, that baseline is a lot lower. They have many more low points than they do have high points, and so bringing that up with a bit of medication, you'll still have anxiety,
Yeah.
occasionally, but more appropriate at more appropriate times. It won't be anxiety like for trivial things, around trivial things. It'll be more appropriate, if that makes sense.
100%.
That very well. Sorry.
And no. That's how that's like the best way to explain it, because some people are like, oh, I don't want to feel numb. But I don't feel numb. I feel like I'm not in fight or flight mode constantly, 24/7. It feels like, oh, okay, like, yes, this is very much stressing me out. I don't know what to do. But I can also not shut down and like go into this mode where I'm unhelpful to everyone around me. I'm still moving forward and like acknowledging and like thinking about how, like, the client that I mentioned, I was losing sleep over it. And even though I'm on medication, I was losing sleep over it because I was like, I don't think we're a good fit, and I don't know how to tell them. And there's nothing wrong with them as a person, but I can't give them what they need. And that was very stressful. And I'm still having emotions, and it's...
Are you still dealing with that client?
No, we parted ways a month ago.
Okay.
No, yeah. So...
And it sounds like it should really have happened, because you can't help everybody. And one common source of stress and anxiety is not fully understanding what the expectations of you are. So if that client, if you are not able to, if you can't see, okay, these are the things I can give you, and set that expectation, that becomes stressful because it's an ambiguous relationship at that point.
Yes, so much so.
And, and sometimes you have to say, look, I don't think I can give you what you need.
Yeah. And that's what I ended up doing. And I again, like, it took all of these steps for me to get to that place, because I feel like it was like the healthiest like breakup I've ever had. And it took like 38 years to like figure out how to have like a healthy conversation that isn't personal, that's coming from a positive place, that's beneficial for both people. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of that work, and like trying, how do I change my frequency? Because part of you is like, I just want to like end it. I want to be over with it. I want to get someone else to break up with them for me.
Yeah.
But in going this other route, both sides kind of walk away feeling okay, and no animosity, and it's just better for everyone.
And knowing when to leave a situation is a thing.
Yeah.
Knowing when to end a relationship, regardless of what type it is a thing. And it's a thing that we're not necessarily taught, or the idea that ending something is just as, ending the right thing is just as valuable as starting the right thing. Like, we're just not taught that. Like, if you're in a toxic work relationship, like, the desperate need that exists for you to actually leave it versus like sticking it out, and we've all done that. I feel like, and Oprah said that if you're in a job that you hate, that it kills you a little bit every day. And I don't think that's overstated. When you take it home with you and it's like this base level of like your existence, and there's so much. So any relationships, like you're an entrepreneur, you know, you're starting a new business, the idea of you voluntarily ending one of those business relationships just brings all this other stuff with it. So good for you that you did it and you did it well and you feel good about it. And because at the end of the day, like there's somebody better suited for them. And I think you guys just said it, like you're doing them the same service you're doing yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
You guys, this has been lovely.
Thank you.
It has. I had a good time.
It really has. I like really settled into this. Okay, so I want to make it like super clear that like you guys have never met, and beyond that, you didn't know anything about each other. So the fact that like Alyx, I try to curate like from the list the stuff that I just think would be fun. What would be a fun selection for this person based on what I do know about them, right? And that she picked this, and that you could so perfectly come in and talk about it is what I'm trying to do here. And this was like super, super lovely. I am going to hit stop in a minute, but do we have any parting words, either one of you?
Alyx and I had a good old chit chat when you were gone as well.
Yeah.
I know, I could tell.
Very much about you, but no, we just kind of kept it going, and I think and then you joined again, so there wasn't this big like gear shift.
Because you guys didn't need me, and that's what's great about it. Like, yeah, that's what's awesome. So I loved it. This really was awesome. And Alyx, do you feel like you like got words that benefited you?
I absolutely feel like this conversation brought some things to, like, gave me some things to think about, and some great quotes to kind of take with me and keep in mind for like when I'm feeling this wavelength that I don't want to feel and I don't want to put out there.
You know, Alyx, it really is a real thing. Like, so I had a couple of years that I look back and they were just, it just felt like I was being beaten up. And, you know, it started off with a cousin that took their own life. And then I lost two friends, one to cancer and one to a heart attack.
So sorry.
And then my dad got diagnosed with terminal cancer. And and then my relationship, and then pets died. I mean, it just never stopped. I lost two clients, like fell out really badly with one client, and the other one tried to get me to do something that would have been stupid, but also illegal. And you know, so, and it just, that whole 2 years it just felt awful. And there is a you know, bright patch on that. This too shall end, you know, whatever that saying is. This too shall pass. That's what they say. And it did. But it's life. So keep your chin up.
Thank you.
You always bring good energy.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. I think together we're good energy. Like, you bring out a really great side of me, Bridget. So
I'm going to point out something dumb. Doesn't it look like I'm wearing a tiny hat? See the hat on the rack behind me?
Yes, it does. And I was going to say that it looks like your little cowboy hats right here.
I'm feeling left out because I cannot see you, Bridget or Alyx.
Well, I can't.
I think it's because I put it in this like low data mode. I'll send you a screen grab, Jason.
But I did see that you'd transitioned into a closet.
I just turned.
Are you in your tornado safe room?
Yes.
I know.
No, I was always in this room. I just, the power went out. But I'm going to hope that the universe and riverside.com has protected me in the way that I think. But yes, I'm going to hit stop. Thank you both so much.
Thank
Oh
you.
yeah, this was fun. This was good. I was a bit nervous, but it was a lot of fun. Nice to meet you, Alyx.
Nice to meet you too, Jason.
A huge thank you to Alyx K for opening up and trusting us. A creative consultant, Alyx enjoys soaking up the sun while living in Asbury Park. And a giant tip of our hats to our insightful stranger, Jason L. A trained scientist, Alyx and Jason had never met, never heard each other's names, or seen each other's faces before this recording.